Right, so this is a really important video that I've got to make this video because it wouldn't be right if I didn't do this video. So in this video, I want to do the best I can to share with you and help you with my life experience. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you've got the option to take the advice that I'm going to give you if you feel confident and it's your choice. So I guess this video is how to make friends when you're shy. That can also include when you've got social anxiety, when you're very anxious around people. How to make friends with that, slash, how to speak to people, without feeling terrified. Plus, how to work through the fear, how to get strong enough and brave enough to put yourself in social situations with people when you are nervous, when you are frightened, when you are worried about what people think about you, and you are uncomfortable holding eye contact. So some conversation skills in this video, right? The best I can give you, some social skills, some confidence building tips, and real strategies that I've used. Now I will say the only challenging thing about this video today is we're not in a normal time at the moment. We're in the lockdown, so I feel a bit frustrated because I can't fully give my usual best advice to people, because I can't say to people, well, go out, meet people, talk to people, because obviously with the rules at the moment we're not allowed to do that, right? And I'm not going to encourage people to break the law and stuff. I don't want to be getting in trouble. So bear in mind the advice I'm going to give you today is more at the moment for someone who's in lockdown and is on their own and is lonely, depressed, sad, frightened, upset, whatever they're going through. Look, I just want to make a point of saying as well, I know how you feel, I know what you're going through, because I've been through it myself. I've been through it in my early 20s. I can tell you a bit about that if you don't know my story already. And I've had to go through a lot of anxiety myself during this period. But I just want to make a point of saying I'm not selling anything in this video at the moment. I'm not actually working, so I'm not making any money out of this at all. That's not the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I feel good about doing something good, and I don't see the sense in not sharing information with people that can really help me. Now, I got a lot of help in my life growing up, and if I hadn't had good people helping me, then I wouldn't have been able to enjoy my life at certain times. So I've been through all of what you're going through today, whether you're a young man, a young girl, or sorry, I just bit my own tooth. That's annoying. So whatever age you're at as well, don't feel embarrassed, even if you're 40 years of age or 30. It's not about really age in this video. It's really about an anxiety problem, a shyness problem. So for all the years I've been doing YouTube videos, right, and when I was teaching, when I was a full-time entrepreneur and a confidence and relationship coach, probably the most common question that I got over the years, and I helped many of my clients when I was working, it was this issue we're talking about today. If I look at all the issues that people have that follow my channel, and the issues that I had, and a lot of the issues that I overcome, and some of the ones that I'm still working through myself, all of the issues kind of came back to this problem. It was a people problem. It was how to overcome the fear of making friends, talking to people. And a lot of it is around, I know from my experience, people are embarrassed, to talk to people. People are frightened. People are scared of being judged. People are worried that they're not good enough. People are worried that they're not going to be able to handle the pressure and the stress of holding a conversation with someone, whether it's over the phone, whether it's on a YouTube video, whether it's in person. So I am kind of I'm speaking in the past tense, before obviously coronavirus happened, and I'm also speaking now in the future, because I've had a lot of messages which I appreciate from people saying, Johnny, how can I make friends during lockdown? For a lot of people, myself included, a lot of us at the moment, we're not working, we're living on our own. We can't see our friends, we can't see our family. So of course, if you're on your own, it doesn't matter how strong you are, at some point you're going to get down. It happens to me. I get down. You're going to get down. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel anxiety, right? And everyone's feeling that at the moment, just off the back of the coronavirus But if you've been a person that has already been dealing with shyness your whole life, then hear me out, hear my story. So first and foremost, my story was, as far as I can remember when I was younger, I was very shy growing up, and I always had social anxiety, right? I always got anxious, especially with people that didn't know me. So I didn't find it easy. I didn't find it comfortable talking to new people. I sometimes didn't even find it easy, and this used to hurt my feelings a lot. I didn't always find it easy, talking to my family, my aunties, my cousins, who I love very much, obviously, and they love me, and I did feel comfortable with them, but because of my own anxiety issues and the panic and the nervousness, and I used to struggle with speaking without stuttering. I would get awkward, and then I would worry that I would get awkward, and it would just spiral into a whole depression. Basically, I'd feel depressed. So I went through it for years. Didn't really feel comfortable in groups of people. And as I've said to a lot of you, it doesn't take a scientist or a psychologist to work out most of the issues that I developed, my anxiety issues around people, talking to people, making friends, in all different environments, at work, at college, at primary school, dates with girls, family gatherings, friends, meeting my friends' mums and dads, who were always nice, that would invite me for dinner. I was frightened of all this stuff for years. I kept it to myself. And that's probably what a lot of you are going through, which I know you're going through. I was too embarrassed to admit I had these problems, because I personally felt like if I admit this, I'm really going to be looked upon as like not a good person. People are going to think that I'm not good enough, and I don't want people looking down on me or disrespecting me or looking at me as someone who is less than human, or as someone who's got issues, or someone who's got a disability, or someone who's disadvantaged. And it's human. And obviously I got bullied in school. So when you get bullied for being shy, and you get bullied for getting anxious, or you get bullied because you start stuttering when you go red, whatever the reason, right, it messes you up for a bit. It makes you reluctant to want to make friends and talk to people and go on the phone. It basically, if you allow it to, right, it can ruin your whole social life. It can literally, obviously, I don't want this to happen to anyone, but there's some people, they take their own life, right? And I can understand how they feel, being someone who has been through these things and has felt. I never tried to take my own life, but there were times when I was in my 20s where I felt like doing it, because I was so depressed and down and disappointed at myself for feeling that there's something wrong with me. It felt like having an illness, right? And you could argue it can lead to mental illness, right? It doesn't mean if you're shy you've got mental illness, right? I have a mental illness, so I'm not embarrassed about it, and I don't, whatever people think, I don't really care what they think, right? Because no one chooses it, right? So for all these reasons, I totally understand wholeheartedly why it's so difficult for you to speak to people, to make a phone call, to send somebody a voice note on WhatsApp, to write someone a message, because it can feel embarrassing, right? It can definitely feel like that. And these are all the things that I was going through when I was younger. I didn't want people looking at me and thinking I'm weak. And I know that men and women go through this, especially for guys. I don't want people thinking he's not manly, he's not a man. He can't even have a conversation with someone, or what's wrong with him? He can't even, look people in the eye without getting awkward, or why is he stuttering? Why can't he pronounce his words right? I don't want people having that opinion of me, because I knew within all my shyness and my anxieties, I'm a person. I've got talent. I've got good qualities. I've got good values. I've got a good heart. I see myself as a decent person. I was brought up with good values and stuff, and I can connect with people. I know how to talk to people. So it was a real contradicting, frustrating place to be at, where I had a lot of social fear, and I did really panic in social situations all throughout my childhood growing up. And I think the frustrating thing for a lot of people, and for me, was there were times where I could be good at talking to people, and I could hold a conversation, I could make eye contact, and I didn't have all this anxiety and embarrassment and shame around people and worrying about oh, I don't know if I should say that, or if I make a joke, what if people think I'm weird or it's not funny, or what if I ask someone a question and they get angry? I don't want to get into an argument or upset someone. So I've been through it. So first of all, you have to understand that you're not abnormal. This doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Millions of people around the world have this. I'm telling you, so many people, and I'm not having a go at them. I understand they're too scared to admit it because they think if they admit it, they're going to be shamed, right? I'm personally here to take a stance on that. If I can be a voice for this problem, that you need to speak about it to overcome the problem. The problem comes from not communicating with people. It comes from bottling everything up, not communicating with your parents, not even having, not just saying to someone, look, even to a friend, I get shy sometimes, or I get nervous, I get anxious. Even with you, you're my friend, it's not personal. Most people are good, they understand. I can say that, right? Thank God. In my experience in life, of course there are negative people, there are nasty people who choose to be nasty. Most people, if you're honest with them, right, and you just tell the truth, look, I've got this problem, I'm shy, I'm socially anxious, people will be acceptant. They'll be okay about it. You won't die. But when you're in your own head and your own thoughts, it's very hard to rationalize that and to think, yeah, it will be safe for me. Yeah, I won't be judged by the whole of society. I won't be rejected, or I'm not going to be laughed at or teased. I know these things can happen, so I'm not saying, I can't guarantee that it's not going to happen, but all I can do is speak from my experience that there is a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of people that are not going to reject you and judge you and see you as a terrible person because you've got some shyness. Most people have it. Most people at some point have all felt anxiety around people or in a job interview. So you have to kind of understand that a lot of it is normal. It's just basically not allowing it to get out of hand, which is what I did for many years. And people ask me, what's my story? Well, my honest story was, by the time I got to 22, I was contemplating not wanting to be around anymore, and I didn't feel good about that, and I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I didn't even want anyone to know about it. I was frightened of people knowing this about me, other than my mum. My mum knew that I struggled, right? And my dad knew as well. I didn't tell my mum I was at one point suicidal, didn't want to scare her, but I was having suicidal thoughts at, in my 20s and 25. And by the time I got to 25, I just thought, you know what? I'm so sick of this. I've had enough now. I can't deal with the mental illness that I was going through at the time, and I didn't even know what mental illness was back then, right? But I knew I had these anxiety issues, and I was struggling to deal with the truth and the reality that I'm a human being and I'm living every day knowing that I'm keeping this secret a secret, and it's killing me. It's really ruining my life. Like, I need to find a way of getting this out so it stops blackmailing me, and I need to do something about this. I can't sit here in my flat and be paralyzed with anxiety and to purposely isolate myself from people. It's killing me. Now, I don't want to contradict, but obviously I was lucky growing up, because despite the anxieties that I went through, that you're probably going through, and the bullying at school, I did make friends growing up, right? I always did, but that didn't make it easy. There were periods where I just didn't want to be around people. I didn't feel like it because of the depression and the anxiety and all of the confusion that I was dealing with. So some tips. First tip is, right, and I can't force any of you to do it. It wouldn't be fair of me. But if you want to get over this, you've got to speak to someone about this. You've got to find one trusted person, whether that's your mum, whether that's your dad, your auntie, your brother, your sister, whoever, any trusted person in your life, that you can just get this out and stop it from basically ruining your life and making you feel depressed and lonely. And you've got to have someone to talk to. Now, I can't tell people, oh, you need to go and get therapy, because I haven't really got a right to do that. But that might be an option for you, and there's no weakness in getting help. It means you're a strong person. Believe me, opening up about your anxiety or your shyness or your social problems, it's not a weakness. And if anyone judges you or says that, then it says a lot about them. It says a lot about them. Anyone who puts someone down tries to make fun of someone or bully them, it's not a strong person to begin with, right? That makes them a bully, and that's not nice, and that's just going to come back on them, right? So I wouldn't pay attention to anyone who judges you or tries to make fun of you. People try to do it to me all my life. Here I am now, and I can, I've done it for many years. Despite my challenges, I succeeded, and I want you to succeed. And succeeding doesn't necessarily mean becoming a celebrity or making a lot of money or having followers. It's got nothing to do with that. It's you being able to get to a point in your life where you feel good about who you are and to gain some social confidence, which is what I'm trying to help people with today. So it's practice. It's basically you have to learn to face that feeling. There's nothing I can do for you in regards to, I can't take away your anxiety. I wish I could do that, right? I can't do that for you, and I'm quite certain, and I hope I'm wrong, that even a doctor or a therapist can't fully take your anxiety away. They can help you. There might be, for some people, you might need medication, you might need therapy, right? And that's going to get you living a happy life again, which is great. For a lot of you, you might not need that. You might not need to get a therapist. You might just need to face your fears and get on the phone. So what you can do at the moment in lockdown, where is it? Everyone's got one of these, I'm guessing, right? You've got your phone here, right? On your phone there's going to be some people you can reach out to. So I would personally take the opportunity now in lockdown, find a community of people who think like you, who've got the same hobbies and interests, and reach out to someone and just be honest. Just even say, look, I was nervous reaching out, but I want to have a conversation with someone. I'm in lockdown, I'm bored at the moment. I'm sure most people will be feeling the same way, and they'll be like, sure, And if someone doesn't want to talk to you, it's hard sometimes because it's easy for me to give this advice and say these things, and I mean them, and I've lived them myself, so I'm not speaking BS or from a textbook. You have to learn to not take it personal if someone doesn't want to talk to you. They're not rejecting you entirely as a person. They just might not be in the mood, or maybe they don't feel like being friends with you. So you've got to keep going. Somebody will. You're a great person. You've got a great personality. You've got just as much to offer and give as anybody else. You can't forget that about yourself. It's easy to forget that. When you've got shyness and you've got anxiety, it's easy to think, well, I'm not good enough. You are good enough. Some of the most talented people in the world today and the generations have had anxiety, mental health problems, shyness, social anxiety. They've been shy. But they faced their fears, and they've still been able to find happiness in their life. And everyone's version of success is different. So I'm not telling you to copy me, but what I am saying, at some point you're going to have to face that fear, because it won't go away. Anxiety, shyness, and these mental health challenges, they don't go away on their own. You need some help. You've got to be willing to take responsibility as well and get the help, and that can also mean making friends. So you've got to become fearless. You've got to face it. And I had to tell myself these things in my 20s, because if I didn't do it, I might not be here now, because that's how bad my depression was getting. And it was through reaching out and going out and making friends that I started to gain more confidence, especially during my early to mid 20s. And by the time I reached age 29, 30, my life was incredible. So why can't your life be incredible? And then I got a girlfriend. I'm not saying you need to do this, right? And don't compare yourself to me, but I'm just trying to inspire you. I got a girlfriend. I set my own business up. I made money. I taught people. I did a job that I love. I inspired people. I give hundreds of public talks. Nobody expected that from me. Nobody did. I didn't expect that from me until I started to build my confidence. So to answer your question, people will say to me, well, Johnny, I don't know how to speak to people. How do I keep a conversation going? My two best tips of keeping a conversation going is have the courage to be honest and vulnerable with people. Ask questions. If you don't know what to say to a person, I'm a bit shy, excuse me. I don't know what to say right now. I don't really know what to say, and I'm trying to overcome this problem and talk to you. And the other person, 9 times out of 10, they'll say, oh, that's fine, don't worry. And they'll take control of the conversation. That's my first tip. My second tip is every single human being has got a hobby about something. They're interested in something. Ask someone, what is it that you like doing? I always ask people this if I don't know what to say, and I ask it anyway. And people are always happy. You know what people are like? Most people love talking about themselves. We're all like that. And if you say to someone, what is it you're passionate about? They'll tell you, photography, video games, social media, entrepreneurship, college, university, dating. Just ask someone. And that saves you from having to come up and think of a lot of things to say if you're a bit shy. And if it does get awkward and you do get quiet, that's fine. I know it doesn't feel nice, but it's not the end of the world, and everybody goes for it. So it's basically learning to have the courage to work through these fears and these emotions. And like I said, I've done it in many areas, and just to inspire people, just because I've just told you what I've done in my life, it doesn't mean I still get anxiety as well, just like you do. I still get in situations where I think, I don't really feel like speaking at this moment. I feel a bit nervous, I feel shy, I don't really know what to say. I still go through it, but I just do the best I can to work through it and keep pushing myself, and then it does get easier. You can become confident. So all of you watching this video, whoever you are, men and women, old and young, right? You can become such a confident person. I did. A lot of people who watch my videos couldn't believe that I had all these issues, because they see me many years after practicing, right? And a lot of people probably don't believe that I still have anxiety. I've had it all my life. I still get it. And there's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about when you start realizing that it's not as bad as you think. And it's basically learning to control the anxiety and move forward with it. So at the moment, whilst we're in lockdown, what we can do is you can make a YouTube video. You can call someone up, you can have a video call, you can do what I do. If you've got WhatsApp, you can send voice message notes. Just say, hey, I'm just reaching out to see how you're doing. Just see, what are you up to? How are you? People appreciate it, believe me. We're living in a world, unfortunately, where, and this is my opinion, you might disagree with me, that's your choice, where we're so disconnected, right? And it's just not a normal way to live. No wonder so many people are depressed. We need to still talk to one another. So whilst you're in lockdown, I know it's frustrating. We're all getting frustrated. Me as well. I want it to end. You can still pick up the phone. Speak to your parents or whoever it is. Find a community. Find a Facebook group or find any community of people that are interested in the same things. And you'll be surprised, man. The way that a lot of people are. In my experience, if you admit to someone that you're scared or shy about something, they will have the courage to then admit what they're scared about. So every single person on planet Earth has fears and anxieties. And, if Mike Tyson had fear and anxiety, then why should I feel embarrassed or ashamed about having anxiety? If Tyson Fury had his anxiety, his mental health challenges, thousands of people struggle with it, so you're not the only one. But you can do something about it. You can finally get to a place where you feel good about who you are, and that's what I'm trying to achieve making this video. And when I was teaching full time, I was brilliant at what I did. I think there was no one on planet Earth that was more compassionate and caring and talented and passionate and good at what I was good at doing, and that was helping shy people, helping people with anxiety to come outside of their comfort zone and gain see, I get awkward sometimes too, I get passionate. Gain solid confidence so they can be confident in whatever area of their life, whether it's dating, whether it's at school, whether it's at work. And from one shy person to another, you can achieve so much if you become fearless and you take the advice that I'm giving you and you reach out and get the help. And start practicing. It gets easier over time. That's what happened to me. When I first used to go to job interviews, I was terrified. I used to get nervous. I couldn't speak, but I just kept going to them, and then it got easier. When I first got on the phone, I used to freeze up. Even with my parents, I'd be like, I just kept doing it. It got easier. Job interviews, first dates. My first date, I always got sick with fear. I was pacing up and down in the mirror trying to get myself together, and I didn't know. I was so scared on the date. I hardly spoke a word for an hour, and then I just kept pushing myself. It got easier, and that's what you've got to do. You know, whether it's in lockdown, but you can't be silent. We can't live in a culture. I've had enough of it now. I really have. We can't live in a culture where people are just sitting there dying inside, depressed, and they've got no one to speak to. It's not right. You know, come on, man. For all you people out there who are not, you know, putting your finger out, and help someone else, man, for once. Instead of being selfish and just caring about yourself and your public image and your social media, why don't you try and help someone out who's less fortunate and give them encouragement? And that makes you feel great anyway. So if you want to gain self-esteem, how I gained it, and I've had my challenges, as a lot of you know, but I never give up. Help somebody else. I helped thousands of people, you know, when I was at my best, and it was such a great. It really changed my life. It gave me so much confidence. And in the second chapter of my life now, after having a mental breakdown and the challenges that I've been going through, I'm determined to get back. I want to get myself in the future back to doing what I love, and doing it again as a profession. But I've got to, you know, I'm working through my stuff, so I've got the courage to be honest about. I have struggle as well. We all need help. So that's a strong person for me. The values I was brought up. A strong person is someone who's got the courage to be honest about what they're frightened of, what they're dealing with. That takes a warrior. Man, woman, old, young, I don't care what background you're from. That's a champion. That takes so much courage to do that. It takes so much inner strength to just be able to do that publicly or to one person. The second one, to say I need help and I want to receive the help. Champion's mindset. Now, it doesn't make you a terrible person by being silent, because I know how that feels. But I'm just trying to encourage people to feel safe enough to get the help. And it's people that help one another. I couldn't have done it on my own. I had someone help me when I was shy with women, who was more confident than me, and he helped me to build my confidence up. And then I could get a girlfriend. So I really want to help people. This, as I said, I make no money out of this at all. I don't even care about it. I made money in the past, and I'm sure I'll make money again in the future when I return back to work, which is one of my goals for 2021. I encourage you to set a goal, right? But I'm not going to put pressure on myself, because I'm still dealing with anxiety and depression as well. But I'm not going to let my anxiety and depression keep me afraid, down, defeated. I'm not going to have that. No way. And I'm not going to stop encouraging other people in any way that I can, and I encourage all of you to do the same. So if you've been listening, you're brilliant for listening. I appreciate it, and it's I want to say thanks to everyone who helped me throughout the years. You didn't have to. So this is how you do it, and you just one step at a time. My last tip: stop thinking about ahead of time, the future. You can't know that. Do what you can do today. One phone call, one message, one video conversation, one video. You won't believe how much you change, right? And remember, become fearless.